I closed the biggest deal that has ever been closed on the Upwork platform. This deal was for over $160,000 for one project. And by the way, I've already negotiated over another $100,000 with this client over the next few months. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how I closed it. I'm gonna show you every single message and every single thing that I did to close this deal. And I'm gonna show you how you can also close multi-six-figure deals on Upwork. And if you don't already know, my name is Ryan. I'm the #1 expert on Upwork for NAN, AI automation, and I'm quite literally ranked #1 on Upwork for these things. But anyway, let's get straight into it. This video for me, I'm so excited to talk about it because nobody is doing this. #1, I guarantee no one will ever show you closing a multi-six-figure deal on Upwork because they just aren't doing it. And just for context, this deal, the fees I paid on Upwork alone for this was over $20,000. So this video is worth over $20,000 when I show you this because it cost me 20 grand to keep this on Upwork and to show you that this is possible using this platform. I could have just kept the $20,000 and done what everybody else done, which is take clients off the platform, but I didn't because I wanted to show you that this is possible on the Upwork platform. But anyway, let's get straight into it. So this deal came through an invitation, and I'll be honest, Upwork clients that are willing to spend multi-six figures, and every deal that I've closed for 6 figures so far and multi-5 figures has come inbound. And as you may know, and if you don't already know, I don't send proposals on Upwork currently. Everything is inbound. So all of the clients that I get, it's all from invites and organic messaging essentially. Now, as you can see, when I responded to this invite, and I'm gonna show you the exact response that I sent, the Loom video, everything, you can see right here that there was 129 other people that applied to this job. Just think about that for a second. 130 people basically applied to this job and didn't close it. And if you actually look here, you can see that the average applicant had over $200,000 earned on the profile. At the time, I think I had like 100K earned, 50 plus jobs, 7 years on the platform, over 100% job success score. And just for context, this client had spent over $1 million on the platform. So this isn't some like small fish. This is a big ass whale on the Upwork platform. And I remember when this job came out, everybody was trying to close it in the automation and web development niche. But when you have a really good profile, like I talk about on this YouTube channel, that's very specific and really branded and beautiful and so on, you attract big clients and they can tell that you're an expert. And that's why I got invited. But now let's get into like what I actually did to respond to the client and to actually get them to book in a call and to actually close them up. They obviously sent me an invite and I responded saying, hey, I made you a Loom video, as you can see here. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna have my editor actually show you the Loom video on here. So editor, throw up the Loom video so that you guys can actually watch exactly what I said and what I did.
Hey there, hope you're doing well. Thank you for the invitation. I can definitely help you with this project. I have direct experience working on this type of work. You can actually go to my profile and you can see real examples of me walking you through builds very similar to this, whether it be AI voice or processing big orders. And you can also see that I've never had a bad review. And the reason for that is because I only take on projects that I actually think I can help. And I am working on some pretty big projects here. So would love to hear back. Looking forward to learn a little bit more about the context of the project and I can go. I just wanted to send you a Loom so you could see I was a real person. Yeah, look forward to hearing back from you.
And by the way, I'm super embarrassed because I was wearing a tank top, which I can't believe I closed a client for $160,000 and I'm wearing a literal tank top in the Loom video. But anyway, as you saw in the Loom video, very chill, very relaxed, saying that I can do it, I have the experience. And honestly, at that time, I didn't have like crazy experience with voice agents. I kind of knew about it, but at the end of the day, that's not important. They invited me and I'm positioned as the expert, so I need to hold that frame. And the main goal of that Loom video is to get them to book in a call. It's important to understand that on Upwork, I would say like 80–90% of the deals that close on Upwork are from calls. Nobody's really closing big deals in the DM, unless you're in like a niche like social media management or something like that. But I can tell you for AI and web development specifically, Facebook ads, other niches like that, because I coach a lot of people in those niches, those deals happen on calls. You have to get them on a call. You have to close them that way. So my goal here was to get them on a call as quickly as possible. And look, they sent this invitation on February the 5th. And I want to be clear here. It took over 36 days to close this deal because big deals like this take time. But as you can see, they sent it on February the 6th or the 5th, sorry, but they actually responded to me on the 6th. So it took a day just for them to get back to me. So They actually said, are you available for a 30-minute chat between 11:30 CST and 2 p.m. CST? And instead of like we're going back and forth with them and being like, what about this time? What about that time? Super inefficient, and big people that want to spend a lot of money, they haven't got time to waste. So it's much more efficient for me to just send the essentially scheduler to book in a call. So that's exactly what I did. I said, do any of these times work? I didn't respond to them saying, yeah, 11:30 CST works. Let's book it into the calendar. No, I'm like, pick a time here. That's what a professional would do. And ultimately, even though these guys have spent millions of dollars and they want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars with us, you have to assert the frame that you are the expert and they are coming to you for help. Because remember, on Upwork, the clients are the ones asking for help. You're just putting your hand up and saying, I can do it. So I'm just saying, look, this is my schedule. Pick a time on my schedule. The frame is there. It's all looking pretty nice so far. Now look, it took 2 days for them to respond. And during this period, I was a little bit like, damn it, I lost the client. But as you can see, 2 days later, he said that he was already booked up and he basically wanted to book in a call for tomorrow. And I said, yes, here's the link again, pick another time. And then he said, I don't see any availability, but I could do 1 p.m. CST. I said, I can't make that, but I can do in a few hours if that works. And we basically just kind of went back and forth until we finally found a time to actually schedule in for. And that was very important, but it was booked in via this time right here, as you can see on the screen. And I said that I would just send them a Zoom link at the time of the call. But this is where we get into the juicy stuff, because this is like the main point of this video that I want to talk to you about. And if you're trying to close big deals on Upwork, I want you to take this part. It's so important. Is I over-delivered like absolute craziness on this deal. So even prior to the call, I created them this beautiful mind map, and I created them basically like a plan and kind of visual representation of what we would be building for them hypothetically based on the job description that they sent. And again, most people don't do this. Most people just show up to the call and be like, hey, tell me about the project. But I spent a bit of extra time to really go above and beyond. And I also sent them a scope of work. Now this scope of work, I'm actually just gonna download it and show you. It wasn't that deep, like it was very basics. It basically just explained kind of the summary and the system architecture of what we were building and the workflow. I had Claude make it, it took about 5 minutes. But again, it looks like I'm doing lots of preparation. It looks like I'm doing work, and big clients love this. They feel like they're prepared. They feel like their time is being valued. And obviously, we booked in our first call and it all went quite well. But if I could tell you anything about six-figure deals, it's that these take multiple calls to close, because big clients like this that are used to spending millions of dollars, there's many people that they have to talk to get this deal done. And this guy wasn't even necessarily the decision maker. He was just one of the people that was important at the company, but not really the guy that kind of signs the checks essentially. So from here, he sent more documentation. We went back and forth. I sent him the call recording, and then I tried to book him in for another call. Now we had a second call here, and on this call, this is where we discuss like a bit more in depth about the project, a bit more in depth about like what they were kind of willing to spend, and I got more intricacies on how much they were currently losing by not having this built. And that's really important. When you're working on projects like this, your goal is to figure out, where the pain is. You're like a doctor. And these guys were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on their existing system. And we were going to come in theory, and basically fix it for like 150K, 160K. And for context, I was going to say this towards the end of the video, but we originally pitched these guys 200K, but then we like worked our way down. So another little lesson, always add a little bit of buffer, because people will negotiate, especially people that are used to spending a lot of money. They always hard negotiate. So you want to have that buffer in there so that, there's a bit of room for you, so you still have a decent bit of money. But honestly, I would have closed this deal no matter what, just so I could show it on this YouTube channel, because that's what I do. I just want to show you that this is possible. I would have taken a worse deal just so that I could show you guys that this is possible. To be honest, I'm dead serious. But like I said, this is where we had the second call. We got into more context, and the context was kind of being drip fed to us. But then the client, as you can see here, asked us to sign an NDA, which is completely fine. Obviously, signing NDAs is good. And that's why I'm obviously blurring a lot of stuff out in this YouTube video, because I can't actually show it. But I wanted to still show you what's possible on Upwork without obviously breaking my NDA. Now, once they sent that NDA, they sent us much more context. And at this point, we were able to see like, wow, this is actually a really big project. And this is something that we can charge a lot of money for, but also provide them a lot of value as well. But then this is where it got interesting. The client came back to us and they asked us to make a working demo of the product. Now, if you know anything about this space, a working demo of a project that's this big, for context, it's an AI voice agent kind of build that handles hundreds of thousands of calls a month. to build a working demo of this is gonna cost money. It's probably gonna cost about 5 to 10 grand. And at this point, I was a bit confused. I'd never had a client ask me to do this. And I was like, damn, like this is gonna be hard. So I went to my team and I said, look, there's a big deal on the table, but I'm not paying for this POC essentially, this working demo. Are you down? Are you gonna help me build it? And luckily, my team are awesome. So they said, yeah, let's do it. Let's close up the deal together. And I'll be honest, my team absolutely over-delivered on this. They absolutely crushed it. And they made an amazing working demo POC for the client. And we actually showed them that on the next call. But during this process, I knew that they were probably talking to a bunch of other people. And to be honest, I was a bit nervous. I didn't want to lose this client because now it started to get real. And I was a bit like, oh, I actually want to close this client. So I was constantly keeping them updated, as you can see throughout the chat. I even sent them a screenshot here of me and my team working on the kind of POC and demo together. And there's no real need for me to do this. I just wanted to constantly keep the chat updated. I wanted to constantly stay at the top of the messaging section on Upwork because I knew they were talking to multiple people. And I actually found out once we closed this deal that they did end up hiring another team of people as well to kind of work in parallel, but they've ended up getting rid of those people because they're not that good. But yeah, they were ready for the POC call. I told them that we were ready and we set up that call and it all kind of rided on this call. Like if we messed up the POC and it didn't work, we were screwed and we're probably gonna lose this client. Now, honestly, we prepared like crazy for this call. We like basically didn't leave a stone unturned. And even my team was like super nervous about it. One of my team members was literally like, he told me he actually prayed before the call. Because my team is all Christian. Like he prayed before the call because he was like, I really want to close this client. Like, let's crush it. He put so much work and effort into it. And it was funny, like when we did the actual like POC demonstration on the call, it kind of like didn't work exactly perfectly. And I could hear like my team's like a little bit like frustrated, but they held it together, we held it together. Obviously we said, look, it's a working demo. We're not charging you any money for this, but that was just a demonstration. They asked us, would it be better than this on the final version? We said, absolutely, of course, just trust us. I've never had a bad review. And all of the deals that I closed where I never had a bad review leading up to this kind of helped that ultimately. And yeah, from there, we pitched them. We told them how much it was gonna cost. We pitched them over $200,000. And we then sent them the pitch deck and the slide deck with the pricing, as you can see here. And again, look, this is February 25th. So this is like 20 plus days from the first time that we actually spoke to the client. So it takes a long time to close these deals, guys. And then guess what happened? Nothing. It was silent from the 25th of February all the way till the 2nd of March. I didn't hear a goddamn thing. And I'll be honest, me and my team were pissed. We were like, we missed the deal. It's because it didn't work on the thing. Like when we did demo and it didn't work, we were stressing out. And honestly, I thought we lost this deal. And I was stressed about losing the money, but I was also stressed because I won't be able to show this on the YouTube channel. Like I'm not gonna be able to show this as possible. And people are still gonna have these limiting beliefs around Upwork. So this was bigger than just me getting paid. This was about Upwork in general. Like there was a lot riding on this, and I know you probably think I'm messing around, but I'm dead serious. Like I actually really care about this stuff, and I wanted to show this. But luckily, on the 2nd of March, as you can see, he said that he needed to follow up with basically the decision makers, and I told him to book in another call. And then another 3 days went by, and we didn't hear back from him. And I even got a little bit nervous, and I said, happy to work on the price scope. And this is probably, now reflecting on it, where I messed up. I probably could have charged him 200K, but I was just so eager to close the deal that I ended up basically bottling it and saying, you know, we can work on the price if there's an issue. And then a couple days after that, so literally from the 25th all the way to the 7th was when they tried to rebook a deal thing with us. So like basically 2 weeks went by and we finally ended up booking in a call. And yeah, we went through a few more scopes. There was another call after that. And eventually on that final call, they basically tried to hard negotiate with us. It went from 200K to 180K, and then from 180K to 160. And when they said 160K on the deal, I didn't act like, oh yeah, let's do it. I still was like, if we can do the deal right now, I'll take that deal because I'm looking to work with you long term. And I think it's important to do this with clients because you build a lot of reciprocity with the client when they feel like you're over delivering. They feel like, wow, like this person really cares about us. He's willing to do a cheaper price because of the long-term relationship that we're looking at. And that is genuinely how I feel. And that's why we're now going to do over 100K with more deals with this client. But yeah, on that call, we said 160K. They said, let's do it. But again, like we were still talking for a long time after that, like all the way up until what? March the 13th. So like weeks later, we then finally closed the deal. And you can see it right here. $160,000 with a $29,000 deposit, might I add. So $29,000 was paid up front, so immediately released. You can see it right here. They immediately paid the $29,000. And honestly, I was so happy about this. And honestly, I would have showed this deal earlier, but I wanted to make sure to get these guys great results. And for context, we've currently closed this client so far for around $77,000 worth of the work so far on this deal. So we still got a long way to go, still got a lot of money to be made, but I hope that that shows you that this is possible. You can close big ass clients on Upwork. And honestly, if I could summarize a few lessons that I had from this, number one, I would say is understanding the landscape. These deals take a long time to close, you know? We were basically set on that 160K price for weeks before it ever ended up actually closing. And I think that's because of these big companies take a long time to make decisions. There's many different, people, chefs in the kitchen, as they say, that have to, say what they think and look at the deal and scope the deal and negotiate and stuff like that. But once it finally closed, it's awesome. Another thing I would say as well is just hold firm on your pricing. I know I didn't do a perfect job of this, but when they did come down from 180 to 160, I didn't just immediately say yes because I knew that they would probably hard negotiate lower. I just was like, look, if we're gonna do this, let's do the deal at 160K. I reiterated the value that we were gonna save them a lot of money over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. And I'm looking at this as a long-term relationship, and that obviously worked really well. And finally, most importantly, on these deals, if I could summarize everything into one lesson, it's just to over deliver. Like we did $5,000 to $10,000 worth of free work on this. We made this working demo. We had probably 5 or 6 calls. We worked on this deal for over 36 days. Let me say that again. 36 days of my life went to just closing this deal without ever getting paid. And I honestly couldn't have done this without my team, who were obviously handling the technical side. And yeah, but this is possible. You can do this. I'm not really sure how to end out this video because it's pretty crazy. I guess if you want to close 6-figure deals, then click the link in the description would be a good way to end this video. But overall, I just wanted to show this is possible. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.